the serious questions have been posed on the entire electoral process, whether it is before, during, or after. Could you share what's happening exactly? Because we see voter, deletions from the electoral roll, voter additions. We see EVM manipulation, the percentage hike after polling closes. So, what is exactly happening, and what have you been fighting for all these years?
See, people like us, every citizen in this country, are extremely proud of the fact that India is a democracy. And it is an electoral democracy. Our system of election is very simple. Democracy is every 5 years, the representatives to the state assemblies, to the parliament, must be elected by the people. Because the core of democracy is the citizen is a sovereign.
Yes.
Citizen forms the government. Because we have large number of citizens, certain age limit is fixed, maturity, beyond which you become a voter, you become the voting citizen. And these voting citizens give their mandate to their elected representatives. You go on our behalf, sit in the state assembly, sit in the parliament, legislate for us, govern the country for us. The mandate given by the people of India. They are the sovereign. MLAs by themselves have no powers as individuals. MPs by themselves have no powers as individuals. Prime Minister by himself has no power as a Prime Minister. Chief Minister has no power. Everything is given to them by the people of India. We the people, citizen. The first words of the Constitution of India, we the people gave to ourselves Constitution on this date. So this is a transfer of sovereignty. So when the sovereignty happens, through which the process of democracy takes place. For instance, the whole country of 140 crore people, with about 99 crore voting population, we have 543 members of parliament. Just such a small number. They represent lakhs and lakhs of people and go on. So that is the core. So when there is that is a core, is a sovereign who should decide, who should know whom to send, and that mandate should be the one that should be carried out. Over a period of time, Indian election, for that purpose, the Constitutional Assembly debated in great length. They wanted to, then they created a Election Commission of India, which is completely separated, independent of the political executive, because they are the one who control the political executive. Through the electoral process only they come. So political executive cannot control the election commission, which is absurd. So election commission was formed. Then election commission was vested with plenipotentiary powers, statutory powers, Representatives of People's Act, and other kind of legal powers, and umpteen Supreme Court judgments, vesting vast amount of power to the Election Commission of India, unless there is a specific law by the Parliament directing the Election Commission to do a certain thing. Election Commission is free to adopt any means, adopt any methods, take any decision to ensure free and fair election, which Supreme Court says repeatedly is a basic structure of the Constitution. Okay, this is the background. The importance of election, the enormity, and the powers of the Election Commission of India. We had a single person election commission starting from 1951 onwards, then went on and on and on. Then in the mid 50s, T.N. Session tried to assert himself. Then they tried to fetter him through a multi-member commission. 3 commissioners are there ever since mid 90s. Initially, we had paper ballots, and over a period of time, they said technology has come, technology has become efficient, and we'll bring in technology. They brought in the electronic voting machine. When the electronic voting machine became suspicious in 2009, they brought in VVPAT, voter verifiable paper trail. All these happened, and people were not raising any noise because people had a lot of faith and trust in the election commission, the process of election, the entire government machinery, the entire Indian administrative service, elite service comes into play. They are the ones who are conducting the elections. And the
Yes.
entire Indian police service comes into play in support of them. Indian revenue service comes into play in support of them. So it is a people had full faith in the system. Now the faith started, what do you call that? The trust and the faith in the electoral system started gradually going down ever since the EVM was introduced. Because the basic principle is when there is something called democracy principles. As I told you, voter is a sovereign. Since voter is exercising her franchise, exercising a vote, she should have the knowledge and verifiability. It's very, very important. Very important point I am
Absolutely.
making for your viewers. The voter should have the knowledge and through knowledge verifiability that her vote has been cast as intended. She should know and recorded as cast and counted as recorded. Three basic essential democracy principles. The voter should know, not the machine,
Yes.
not the election commission, not the technical fellows. No, we don't care. The poorest of the poor, the lowest of the low. She should know. In paper ballot, it was there. Okay. Even the most uneducated person could pick it up and see, yes, my candidate is there, a symbol. Even if you can't read the name, you can see the symbol. And knowledge and verifiability. Then she puts a stamp, again sees knowledge and verifiability. Then she puts the vote and goes away. Counting also is done in a very transparent manner. The counting officer is sitting there, around the election agents are sitting there, everybody is shown the vote before putting into the tray. For every candidate, there is a vote. There's a tray. So everyone sees. So it is absolutely. Now, the electronic voting machine changed all that. It's a black box.
Yes.
You go to the booth, that presiding officer presses a button, you hear a button, hear a sound, you press a button, hear a sound and go away. That's all.
Yeah, you have absolutely no idea where your vote is
Yeah,
going.
this may be the best of machines. I have never criticized the machine because I'm not a technical man. I'm a student of economics. So I said, machine, I don't know. You keep your machine. We have no problem. You can't use the machine for democracy. You can use it for college union, university union, like a trade union, okay, because there's no sovereignty there. Here I
Yes.
am transferring my sovereignty. I should know, damn it. So that's why you have your machines all right, first class, very easy. But I don't know. So that is where the whole trouble started. And it
Yes.
came in a big way in 2009. It's very interesting how rotten India's judicial system is, how rotten India's election system is, how rotten India's governance is. Let me tell you, I am being very blunt. 2009, this issue came up, not only in India, but in Europe also. Europe democracies are more advanced. Their countries are more technologically advanced. Simultaneously, the issue came up. Okay. In 2000, in India, Subramanian Swamy went to the Delhi High Court. Delhi High Court gave an order in 2011 or 2009, 12 saying casting doubt on the EVM. Delhi High Court order is still there. It caused serious doubts on the integrity of EVM, and they said we can't give you a solution. You go to the Supreme Court. He went to the Supreme Court. During the same time, 2009, this matter was heard in the German Supreme Court. They call it federal court. Europe was most of the European country was using EVM, and there they introduced they gave the argument, the technical argument, technology, blah 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 blah. The judges were absolutely clear. Don't talk about technology here. Talk about democracy. These are the principles. They lay down the principles. It was already there, but German Supreme Court laid down these principles. Are these principles are being adhered to in your EVM, in your technology? They said no, sir, unconstitutional. Simple. They did not waste their time. Electronic voting machine is unconstitutional if this cannot comply with these three. Okay. We feel ourselves India is, I mean, some kind of rotten notion in the minds of these people. They could have easily adopted the same judgment and given a judgment saying that listen, bring it about. They said, all right, we'll find a solution. Okay, good. If you're finding a solution, they issued the notice to the Election Commission of India, 2013. At that time, a very good friend of mine was a chief election commissioner, Qureshi, my junior and my colleague. He then consulted the technical people, political people. They said there is something called VVPAT, voter verifiable paper trail. Some paper which was written by some Harvard or MIT University professor way back in 70s and 80s. They dusted it out and saying, yes, we can introduce this, keep the machine, attach it with a VVPAT, voter verifiable paper audit trail, and give the required democracy principles. Okay. So after that, what happened was, if you have been voting post 2019, you press the button, a small slip comes for about
Yes.
7 seconds. You see the symbol, you see the name. So they say that satisfies. No, you have seen, and automatically it should be counted, right? Counting is the most important exercise in the whole electoral process. Counting is the most important exercise. Okay. So they showed that, though of course it was not a satisfactory solution. 7 seconds, how many people are seeing it? Particularly elderly people can't even see it. They're all right, you have shown something. But are you not counting it? So the election commissioners immediately who came after Qureshi was Sampath, another good friend of mine. They amended the rule, saying that yes, paper ballot is the real vote, paper slip. Paper slip is the real vote. So there was no, now there are two votes, only electronic memory, one is VVPAT. So VVPAT is the real vote. They said, all right. So automatically, see, everything cannot be written by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court gave a judgment. Bring in VVPAT. This is important for transparency, important for verifiability, essential for democracy, and they left it at that. The presumption was that the paper slip was shown for 7 seconds and papers will be counted,
Yes.
cross verified. Cross verified. If you want to count electronic count, cross verified. If you can't count 100%, you at least count statistically adequate number of cross verification. Where the statistical experts came and said 30% minimum. Minimum 30% of EVM should be counted for cross verified with VVPAT. Only then there could be accuracy. Otherwise, there can be fraud. Simple as that. All these happened in between 2014, 2015, 2019. Then the commission committed fraud. I openly saying again and again and again. The election commission, after this government took over, election commission, some chief election commissioners and deputy election commissioners committed fraud on the people of India by sabotaging the VVPAT. They refused to count the paper slip. They refused to count it. That thing will take 4 days, 5 days. उसका बाप का पैसा चलता है. Government servants are doing all the job. There are millions of
Sir,
government. Huh?
Sir, there have been cases where people have pressed, say, for example, the Congress hand button and the VVPAT has come out as Lotus. Even those incidents have happened.
That happened. That is why it was. That is why the democracy principles. In machine, anything can happen. You can manipulate. That is why the Supreme Court said you count the VVPAT. I mean, you bring the VVPAT. Okay. So this is not the only way. There are many other ways of manipulation. I'll come to that. So in order to prevent that manipulation, you cross verify with The paper slip. Matter is over. The election commission willingly sabotaged. Then what happened? The tragedy was what a certain stand taken by the Supreme Court. They take a totally different stand in 2019 onwards. That's what I'm saying. The institutional capture, the
Yes.
institutional rot that is taking place, prior to 2014, Supreme Court takes one view.
Hmm.
And post 2018, 2019, Supreme Court takes a different view. No need to count. No need to count this paper slip. Instead of one, count five. Instead of 0.5%, you count 2%. What is 2%? That was an ad hoc arrangement in 2019.
Negligible.
Then we sort of set up a citizens commission on election, gave out all the facts, and again went to the Supreme Court in 2023, 2024. Then they said no need for that. Supreme Court is cancelling their own orders,
Yeah.
and
This is
Supreme Court says you follow a certain system for selecting the election commissioners, and so government throws it out. Supreme Court is supporting that. Okay, already, you believe them. You believe them. Supreme Court has been instrumental in spoiling the whole system. They could have taken a consistent stand. Why they keep on changing their stand? Now also, whenever you go to them, dismiss. You भरोसा कर लो, election commission के ऊपर भरोसा कर लो, election के ऊपर भरोसा कर लो. So the point I am making is, you are talking about efficiency. I don't think there is any efficiency. If there has been efficiency, there cannot be such variation, such mismatch of the numbers, votes polled.